Thanks for logging on to MyFoxHurricane.com. Continue to watch the areas in the tropics, and so far everything's still very quiet. You look across the Gulf of Mexico. We have seen this big flare-up of convection over the past couple of days across the northern Gulf of Mexico, extending into the eastern Gulf of Mexico as well. No signs of anything developing there. This is non-tropical in nature, but certainly a lot of activity there. You look down into the Caribbean, and again, still seeing some of these areas of some stronger wind shear. We do have some of these tropical waves working their way from the east to the west, and you notice, especially like this one heading towards the Yucatan, just really nothing going on with that. Very minimal convection with this one just to the south of Puerto Rico. You look much farther out into the Atlantic, and we continue to watch these waves working their way off the coast of Africa. And the trend has been, they come off the coastline quite often. They look pretty impressive, but they quickly die out. Now, there's a couple of things that are going on. You see some of these areas of some stronger wind shear, and also a lot of that dry air, that dry Saharan air, that dust in the atmosphere, that has been posing a big issue for a lot of these systems as well. And you're seeing some of that stronger wind shear sitting just to the south of these areas, and this is the area that we're really focusing in on, or we have been over the past several days. That is at Invest 97. But you look at the satellite loop, you can see really minimal convection with this. And this is going to continue to track more on that west-northwesterly track over the next several days. So a couple of things that's going to happen with that is it's going to continue to work its way into an area with some stronger wind shear, and also a lot of that dry air is sitting to the north of this system. So a couple of days ago is looking a lot more promising that we might actually see something happen with this. But now Hurricane Center has really backed off, and for good reason. Computer models are really just not doing anything with this area. And you can kind of see, compared to a couple of days ago, this had a lot more convection with it, and it kind of looked like it had that potential. And now you're seeing those signs. It is really starting to struggle. So limited shower activity. It continues to move on that west-northwesterly track. Development is not expected, just simply because it's moving into that area, that environment where it's going to become a lot less favorable for development. There you see that dry Saharan air sitting to the north of this system. Watch it right there. And it just continues to be an issue as it works its way on towards the west over the next several days. So you watch the Fox model, and then again, you see those areas of convection. You're also watching some of these tropical waves moving off the coastline. But notice what happens here. It just kind of falls apart. Still maybe a little wave working its way to the west, but you can see there's just not much in the way of convection. Very similar to what we've seen for wave after wave moving from the east to the west. And we continue to watch in these areas as these waves move off the coastline. Eventually something is going to take hold, and the conditions will be just right. It will be in between some of these areas of stronger wind shear and some of that dry air sitting just to the north, and that will be the one that takes hold and starts to develop. But for now, we're just not seeing any signs of that, but you have to watch, because as we head through this time of the year, here we are in August, heading towards the middle of August, September 10th being the peak of the season. So this is the time of the year where you expect to see that activity starting to ramp up. We'll keep you updated right here on MyFoxHurricane.com.